Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to Clem versus Rogue. These guys have not played each other a whole lot, but whenever they have played each other over the past few months, they've been pumping out, well, what should we call them? Certified bangers? Yeah, certified bangers is exactly what they've been pumping out. Rogue has this very weird kind of style, and Clem has this very standard style where he'll try to kind of... Whatever game he plays, he always tries to go into the same type of template. He's a template-based player, Clem is. And Rogue is... No, he's the guy that tries to ruin your day by doing basically whatever he can. He's an attractive player to watch. An attractive person and an attractive player who's opening up here with a... what should be considered a gasless opener. Really by any stretch of the imagination. Late gas here coming in. Opening up with that triple... What is it? 4 queens as well. Reaper is going to manage to sneak out of here, so Clem's going to keep that bad boy alive. Third base on the way. We have a triple CC out of Clem, and we have a Roach Warren here on the way for Rogue. So Eldorado is one of these maps where usually in the first 5-6 minutes, we don't see a whole lot of action. The only action we usually end up seeing is maybe a potential Hellion run by. Like, that is something that Clem likes to do. Like a 2 to 4 Hellion kind of pop in over here. And it actually tends to be pretty necessary against Hellion openers. Roaches, they clear Hellions, they kill Hellions, and they do it very well. If there's 3 Roaches against 4 Hellions, the Hellions might be capable of running by. The moment there's like 6, 7 Roaches, these Hellions will have no chance whatsoever at dealing damage anymore. So there's always really a lot of time pressure on the Terran to kind of throw away these Hellions, but do it in a responsible manner, you know? You kind of want to at least get something back here. So this is indeed what we very frequently see. We see this type of that kind of bounce by here. We had Rogue ready with a with a drone behind her to try and re-wall this. Triple Hellions now moving in towards the third base. We get 2 kills here, and this looks bad because it is bad. This was not a good trade here for Clem. He did invest in those early 4 Hellions, and he loses 2. He loses a Reaper, only gets 2 kills. A Rogue is going to be over the moon with this performance. He only built 4 Roaches total, and he pretty much stopped the entire threat of Clem's early game. The only thing that Rogue needs to worry about right now is going to be the first 2 medevacs. That is going to be pretty much the next big thing, and it's not even that big of a thing. It's actually a relatively small thing. I think Rogue can hold this while staying on a decent worker count. And when I say decent worker count, I mean something along the lines of 65, 66, full 3-base saturation, maybe a 4th base on the way as well. And then, yeah, getting those spores in position. These are anti-dropping spores. This is not a spore that's going to do very well against a Banshee. This is actually a spore that would do very poorly against a Banshee because it's not really protecting anything, right? Funnily enough, sometimes if you put like these random spores out, because the Terran doesn't expect it, they fly into it with a Banshee and you get like 2 or 3 shots. With the new spore damage is actually pretty significant. So sometimes this does end up working, but I would not recommend it unless... Actually, I would just not recommend it, period. It's not a very good play. Here we go. Clem is boosting in. It's going to tank 1 hit straight to the face. Decided to skip the Overlord, by the way, and instead wanted to hit here as fast as possible. First Roach goes down. Second Roach going to go down. No pullback micro here whatsoever. Kind of a late transfuse on one of the Roaches that didn't even take a whole lot of damage. We now have the double Hellions coming in. Let's see if they can deal some more damage here. Ideally, they get like 10 kills, but realistically, they're just going to get 3 or 4 here. And it's just really not enough damage in the early game. So what has Clem really killed so far? It's like 2 Roaches, 5 drones. He's lost 3 Hellions, 2 Marines, and a Reaper. Just not a great start here for the Terran player. And we also pretty much see that represented right now in the supply, but more so even in the worker count. Look at that. 80 workers, 6 minutes and 41 seconds into the game. Clem is trying to take this gold base. Frequently when we see this gold base in play, we then also see like a triple barracks follow-up here. Clem doesn't strike me as the type of guy that will go for an Atrax after seeing a successful gasless Roach opener, which is really what this is. This was a successful opener here. Roaches are the key unit in order to deal with aggressive build orders. So Clem can't really realistically here make the decision of going into an Atrax. So we're indeed seeing a 4cc as well as a second factory. Probably gonna be fairly passive, honestly, with his tanks. Majority of the time when we see roach openers, especially if they go into range upgrades and not into quick melee, but really those range upgrades, going for tank push-outs is really risky, and I'd be shocked to see Clem do it. And as I say that, he moves across the map with the 2 tanks. He's going to be hitting at 740 with 1-1. The problem here is that the tank count isn't high enough to really stop these roaches from running in, throwing 3 biles with the 3 ravagers that you have, and just losing a tank. Then you just rinse and repeat and both of the tanks are gone. And there's not enough deterrent here, I think. Rogue didn't really expect it, so he tanks 1 shot in the face instantly. Clem is moving out of range of these tanks, and I think this is really risky. The first Viper is on the way as well, so that kind of adds another timer onto this push. And Clem realizes, like, okay, I'm just going to move back. I don't actually want to lose my tanks. If I lose these tanks, I might be in danger of actually dying. And take a look at how Rogue is spending his money. This is really interesting. We see Viper, we see Hydras, we saw a Lurker then. What are we not seeing here? We're not seeing +2 range. We're not seeing +2 carapace. So this feels to me like Rogue is setting up for a complete wipe here on this push. And then going into a counter-attack, because he's pretty much all-inning off of 80 workers over here. He's gonna get his good fight. Clem decided to move him forward with 3 tanks. I think this was a blunder, because that is all the defense that he's going to get. This is not at all what he wanted. Viper is still alive. Melee is about to finish up. Now Carapace starts. I really think that if Rogue's goal here was to blast this and then counterattack, this counterattack should be launched right at this moment. Clem is trying to base trade because he knows that if Rogue actually moves across the map with everything and there is a Viper in the mix, Clem is most likely just going to straight up die. So I love that he's going for these little drops. It's pretty significant drops here. That's a triple medevac here on the bottom. He's gonna get a decent trade as well onto these roaches, and he wants to survive until his 2-2 upgrades come out, because then he's going to have a little bit of an upgrade lead. We also see a drop here on the top side. There are hardly any tanks, just 3 tanks available, and with 1 Viper with 2 Blinding Cloud, that means realistically only a single tank. But because Rogue is forced into staying at home, Clem's earlier push isn't going to backfire as much as it potentially could have. 5th base being taken on the bottom side rather than in the middle was a risk. I think Rogue was aware of that risk. He still really wants this bottom side base, which surprises me. I'm not entirely certain why he cares so much about this. Like he could go towards the middle. He could take this as well. I guess eventually you want to take this base, but he seems really focused on trying to secure this bottom side as soon as humanly possible. And with the way that he's playing, I'm surprised to have seen a delay on those upgrades. I actually think, in retrospect, that was a mistake. Or perhaps he was really afraid of that push that was coming in. Maybe he misread, believed that this was going to be an 8-Rex. And no, he scouted the 4th and the 2nd factory fairly early. So, yeah, I don't really have excuses for him then. I think it was a misplay, most definitely, to delay those upgrades if your plan isn't to go for that counterattack. So, very, very safe way, I guess, to approach it. Maybe feels comfortable in the late game as long as he manages to get there. We've often seen this in the past out of the, really mainly the top Zerg players, but also some of the Terrans, where if they feel extremely comfortable in a certain stage of the game, very frequently the late game, they'll basically cut power in the mid game to get there for sure. Someone like Zero has done this frequently in the past, where he might over-defend a little bit, you know. He'll be on 10 lower drones than he really could have been, but he just doesn't want to die, because he knows if he ever gets into that late game, his win rate is just going to absolutely skyrocket, rather than just staying in the mid game. So it's like, okay, I can give up some mid game power if I can guarantee myself a late game. I'm completely fine with that. Just kind of playing the long con over there. And Rogue has shown great prowess in the late game, but I'm not sure what his win rate is against Clem in this particular stage. And if I'm being real honest, if I could take a quick and easy win against Clem at any stage of the game, I would take that opportunity with both hands, because he's phenomenal at making comebacks. He's, in my opinion, the most complete Terran player. Can win in the mid, can win in the early, and can win in the late as well, in really every single matchup. Ravager run by is being stopped over here. This middle base will get denied most likely. I guess this is why Rogue really wanted that bottom base. I did not realize how simple it was for Terran to actually just continuously cancel this. I would love to see a sensor tower over here or over here right now to kind of stop these topside ling run bys from coming in. I mean, I don't think this is really going to achieve anything whatsoever. Maybe you can clear a tank, but this just feels like you're throwing away lings. Not entirely sure why we would be doing that. Doesn't seem like a great plan. rather have them alive, especially if you want to rebuild them. And here comes the rogue special, really. We have how many overseers out already? We have 6 overseers out. We're going to get 5 more. It's going to bring the total up to 11 as double Nidus worms now go down into the main base of Clem. Let's see how fast that response is going to be. I love, by the way, that Rogue waited until Clem was maxed out. That means there's no natural production that can clear these Nidus worms. And this is actually going to be a serious issue right now for Clem, who was not ready for this, did not respond. These eBays are extremely vulnerable. That means if they die, you're just going to be at a massive upgrade deficit here for quite a while. Ghosts are taking a massive beating too. Low on energy. 11 workers already going down. What is the energy count at right now? We have what? 1, 2, 3. We have a bunch of scans available. I don't think a lack of scans is going to grant Rogue the victory over here. But it is going to be expensive to clear this up. There's a decent lurker count. I actually think, oh, we have a bit of a fight in the middle as well. Rogue here acting rapidly, sees his opportunity in the middle and takes it. I think these eBays are absolutely key structures right now for Rogue to try and take out. I'm surprised to see not so much of a focus on those, because if you can deny a 3-3, that is an absolutely massive deal. Clem is actually going to get away with murder here if he keeps those guys alive. Yes, he loses a bunch of workers, a bunch of production. Overall resources lost is actually still massively in favor of the Terran player. Keeping those 3-3 upgrades is, it's just a huge deal. It would have taken such a long time to get those going again. Building the eBase and then restarting 3-3. That is like a solid 3 minutes of extra upgrade advantage that Rogue is going to keep. And yes, you could say against Ghost Tank it doesn't matter so much. But we still have a decent Marine count as well, 20 Marines. And the auto attack of the Ghost, of course, matters too. So, you know, I'm just surprised to see no focus on that whatsoever. Clem's gonna finish that up. We have a decent lurker count here. And we're really just looking at what this Overseer count is going to be doing in the near future. Double Nidus worms. Usually the first set of Nidus worms is the best. And then the second set, not quite as great. Doesn't seem to be true though. Clem is not really paying attention. Has tanks set up in the main base. So it's not going to be the end of the world here. It's not like 15 Lurkers are going to just set up shop and there's nothing that Clem can do. But you still want to be a little bit careful against this type of play. We have a massive Lurker run by going towards the top side. Tank here is going to be super useful. Bottom side now being taken for Rogue as well. I think one of the issues on this map for Zerg players is how hard it is to take these neutral bases, right? So you can take this base, and I don't think Clem is going to be capable of stopping that very well. But taking this top side is just going to be hard. So we have a lot of action all over the map. Planetary actually in a bit of trouble. Is this tank even shooting? No, it's really not. Scans are fairly low. This Planetary is going to fall. Clem, without any repair here whatsoever, is actually very low in resources at the moment. What is this infrastructure? He has 9 barracks, so that's still good. He has the starport. He's keeping a couple of units in the main. He's really afraid of those of those incoming Nidus worms right now. We have a ling run by trying to enter the main. I'm not sure if you really want to go there, buddy, because that is a dangerous area. Burrow starts, but it's a little bit too late. These lings are not going to get saved. Gold is now here. That means we're going to get a significant boost in income. We still have this gold base as well. So we're going to get 2 boosts during this game for Rogue still. And Clem already pretty much had his boost. Low worker count, high mineral economy. Hell yeah. That is something that Rogue still has. He saved that for later. The Lurker is actually taking quite a bit of damage here. This guy only has 2 kills, but I think one of those kills is a planetary. So yeah, that is a decent accolade to have. Would love to see quick saturation on this base. Clem is actually moving towards the bottom side. I think realizing that this gold base might be key for the later portions of the game. Lurkers are once again moving towards the top. This is an issue for Rogue because... an issue for Clem, because Clem really needs to focus on this bottom side to deny the gold. And every single time these top side engagements happen, I think it just becomes harder and harder for Clem to focus on that bottom side. So we have a Nidus worm here for an easy retreat as well. Liberators are out. We'll see that there's a little bit of creep over here. So Clem will end up sending some Marines. And it's kind of pre-splitting here. But yeah, this Liberator and this tank will end up falling. We even have a bit of a lunge here forward. And really the trick that Rogue is using is this changeling play, right? This very heavy changeling play. Right now there's only 7 out. Does provide him with a decent bit of vision, at least in the main base. Main base, by the way, is completely undefended at this point. Clem is pretty consistently misdefending at least one out of the 3 areas where he needs to defend. And this time it's going to be the main base. Earlier it was the top side, and maybe once the main base is being attacked, maybe it's going to be the bottom side, or we might see another new Nidus worm here being produced as well. We never know. We have a full rotation towards the top right now. Banelings being added into the mix, so we have 30 Banelings. How many Overseers do we have? We have 14 Overseers. Okay, this is not a crazy amount, but it's a good amount. This base being taken out is a big deal, by the way, because that's kind of that boost that I really think Rogue is going to need during this game. He's going to try to retake the top side as well. And I think the way that this game is kind of moving forward is that Clem is going to try and play bottom, and Rogue probably aggressively wants to deny this base, and maybe even try to do something over here. If you can deny these gases for a long time and deny some other stuff, that would be huge. Takes out one tank over here, Nidus worm in the natural. Where are our changelings right now? Do we have a lot of vision? We hardly have any vision, to be honest. There's really not that much available for us. As Clem is going to be running back a little bit. Baneling count is high. Melee upgrades are at +2. Baneling speed still not done, by the way. Good lord, that upgrade takes 71 seconds. Legit forever. 2 lings do get borrowed here, so it's going to retain vision of this area. Yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking. Like, this Overlord is just like, that is a topside Nidus, and this area is not that well defended. I think it's really open for ling run buys because it is pure tank. There's no mines in front of it. There's no hellbats. Marines are now moving towards that top side. We have a Nidus worm coming in. I think Clem's going to be a little bit confused. Like, hey, how did you get vision for that Nidus? Yeah, okay. He realizes, gets the scan out. At the same time, we're going to have a ling, a lurker, hydra Nidus coming here towards the top. How well is this area defended is going to be my next question. What's the overseer count right now? We're at 32. 32 overseers. That is a very decent amount of overseers. The lurker count here is phenomenal. Ghosts are coming in with the snipes, actually getting good trades as well. Oi, oi, oi. Lurker's absolutely being blasted over here. I think this bottom side might be not completely secured at this point. Double lurker coming in, shoot burrow in the natural. There we go. There's a lot of chaos being caused here by Rogue. The question, of course, is what does the resource lost look like? And that doesn't necessarily look great here for our Zerg player. It's down by quite a bit. Orbital count, where are you, Mr. Orbital? 7 orbitals, okay? I think that is a decent enough number where... Oh, tank survives with what, like legit 1 HP. Okay, that sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, this is a good run by. It's gonna clear a couple of these tanks. And now I'm expecting an attack here on the bottom side, or a lurker attack on the top. Like, these are the 2 options really that we have. 2 tanks just got taken out. There's still 3 available. 2 of them will have range over this. Maybe you can do something, maybe you can't. Let's take a look at the vision here. Lots of changelings around. So it's going to be capable of figuring out what the correct movement should be. More links now running in. Kind of just giving away the fact that there is going to be an attack. Not a huge fan of that. Okay, here we go. Lurker setting up. These tanks are so effective, and there's no overseer with this, which means a quick cloak plus snipe is going to be very helpful. I think a rogue is giving away quite a bit over here. It's giving away just a bit too much, in my opinion. Another Nidus worm active in the main base right now. Can we get maybe a changeling block on the ramp? That would be so useful to have. Clem is not realizing what is going on. So we have a triple ling run by. Might be capable of sniping a tank here. Let's go for the tank. It's so important. Good on siege here on that left. Denying the splash damage on this tank. At the same time, though, Lurker's in the main base. No overseer here once again. Ghost count right now isn't good enough to really make a significant impact. And with the splash, these ghosts are actually taking a lot of damage. One of them goes down, another one goes down that did not manage to cloak in time. Liberator setting up. What do we have here on the bottom side at the same time? We have a Ling Bane Overseer attack. This is pure Ling Bane Overseer. Changelings moving in, trying to see what is there. Can I attack into this? Do you have enough splash to deal with me? I think the answer is no. And yeah, Banelings are just going to try to get some connections. Do not manage to get the planetary. No, do manage to get the planetary, but the ghosts largely stay alive. At the same time, we have a ling run by over here on this base. No tank on the high ground. These 2 lings could deal a lot of damage. Get a lot of kills here. Just 2 of them, if they survive, you know. They pack a punch. Absolutely, they do. What do we have here defensively right now for a rogue? Do we have enough is going to be the question. Ling shows up. 11, 12 workers going down. This base has fallen. This base is not really mining a whole lot. There's only 28 workers right now remaining for Clem. As the Banelings rolling forward, can they connect with the Ghost? They do connect with a lot of the Ghost. And the supplies, for the first time, are tilting pretty heavily in favor of Rogue. The problem is that the army supplies aren't quite doing that yet. They are not whatsoever. As it's actually 109 army supply to 70. There's a lot of cash in the bank still, but not that much gas. So it's going to be pure ling reinforcements. The larvae are not really available for that, as drones are now being pulled off the line as well. We have lurkers in the natural. We have hydras. I am not sure why they are over here, but they are. And this is an issue for Clem, but this is an issue for Rogue. And we're going into a very weird type of base trade scenario. Rogue has full vision with changelings. He knows exactly what he can expect. He has infinite. He's fearing 70 changelings on the map right now. This guy is a beast. An absolute machine. But is it going to be good enough? Because he just doesn't have the larva to continuously produce these links. He's going to clear one of these tanks. He's going to clear a second tank here. So but he needs to be so freaking careful. Ghosts are taking a beating. Marines in the back dealing a lot of damage. We get a full pickup. And a lot of the supply, a lot of the army supply here for Clem is in static units. It's in tanks. It is in liberators. And actually a lot in medevacs as well. So more support than really... no potatoes, you know? No potatoes here. There's a lot of sauce. A lot of sauce in this army, but you can't just slurp it up by itself, my brother. This ain't soup, okay? You need something to dip in the sauce. Where's the fries at? Right now, we're just lacking those. Tanks stuck over here. There's 3 tanks in the main in general. 4 tanks plus 2 liberators. I really think this calls for an all-out attack, an all-out assault. Rather than keeping a significant portion at home. Clem is hardly mining right now, but Rogue also is hardly mining. He's going to try to saturate the top base. This is empty. This still could mine, though. We have 40 workers against 27. Gold is taken out. And we actually have a planetary over here. We have a planetary on the gold. Maybe Clem is making the correct read here and says, hey, I believe I'm outmining you right now. I don't believe you have a very large bank anymore. As long as I manage to survive, clear your gold base, I'm going to be just fine with the mineral income that I gather from this particular area. This lurker is gonna die. Okay, that's an absolute given. This thing is going to fall. Snipe, yep, there we go. Lurker falls. That's okay. What can we do with the bottom side army? That's going to be the real question that we care about. We have 11 hydras, a bunch of banelings, no vipers, and an absolute crap ton of links. A crazy number of links. There's a lot of static stuff. Tanks, liberators, a lot of supply is in those. Oh my god, this is so bad. Clem! Huge blunder here. 5, 6 tanks in the main base. We still have this one over here. 2 liberators still stuck in the main base as well. So army supply is favorable for Clem. But the problem for Clem is that a lot of his army supply is not actually fighting. Here comes a massive attack. I don't think you can keep this base going. And this is really the only mining base for Clem. This is a big deal. Whoop! Into the observer mode. I'm not sure why, but I think it's cool as hell. More changelings now moving forward. Clem really needs to realize what is going on over here, because he is controlling these units, but they're not coming out. This is a huge blunder here for him. A huge blunder. Game-ending stuff here right now. Oh my god. 6, 7 tanks that are not doing anything. 7 tanks that are not doing anything. That is the vast majority of his tanks, and having those tanks here would be so freaking big. Marine Ghost is very powerful against Lings, but if the Banelings manage to connect, and these Lings manage to get good connections, this could still be good enough. I don't think it is. I don't think it is good enough here. Marine Ghost, with the support of all those medevacs, is actually kind of holding on. Clem just needs to realize what's happening over here, and he will be just fine. He is being outmined right now, which means that every single second that goes by is going to be a terrible second for Clem. He needs to realize what's kicking off. Okay, we have a couple of mules here falling down from the sky. Will get taken out by these links. Can Clem take out this base? It's going to be super vital. A couple of lurkers here would add so much into the mix. But sadly, there are no lurkers here. Finally, the tank reinforcements arrive. As this army actually might end up getting cleaned back. I can't even see it. There's so many overseers and overlords blocking this. It does get cleaned up, but all the drones end up falling. We have 16 workers to 32. So despite having enough bases to mine from, Rogue does not have the drones anymore to mine with. And I think the tank reinforcements now coming in, like 8 at a time, that should make a significant difference here. Liberator showing up as well. Finally, the main base gets empty. As Clem wins this game in a in a tough manner. It's going to be it. GG's.